Hi everybody, and welcome to another diary channeling. This one is from 2018 as well as my first entry. This is just a stream of consciousness that I felt inspired to write down. I don't always get these urges to do so, but when I do, I feel it's pretty important, and maybe it's meant to be knowledge that's passed on. But I do recognize that this post was inspired by a mentor of mine, Frater Xavier. He has the website Mind and Magic, spelled with a K, all one word, and also a YouTube channel if you're interested in learning more about ceremonial magic as well as the occult. So this writing begins with a phrase that I first heard from him, but it's guarding the gates of your mind, being a monitor and protector of your subconscious, because that is how we manifest in this reality, is based on what is programmed into our subconscious. We don't even think about it. This is how advertising work, people putting subliminal messages into your subconscious, and then that can act as a block in your conscious waking life to achieving or manifesting that is what you desire. And then I followed that statement up with meditate, don't medicate. So focusing on strengthening the subconscious rather than blocking it out. And create, don't consume. There's an imbalance that can easily emerge in our lives. We obviously have to do both. It's the yin and the yang. The yang being creating, the consuming being taking in the yin. But when that's out of balance, it can become unhealthy in either direction. I feel though our culture has been mostly programmed to consume and not be creators. I mean, not everybody has a social media outlet or an art platform, or not everybody writes music or plays or poetry. But that's what the world needs more of. And dissatisfaction is a creative state. Listen to the language of the subconscious mind. So if things are difficult and hard and you're feeling down, when you're dissatisfied, that's the opportunity to solve your own problems, come up with a creative solution in order to get yourself out of that dissatisfaction. And polarized people do not want to hear the truth. They want to be validated. So this brings you to the idea of being polarized, and how they divide and conquer us, how they put us on either side of an argument in favor of one side versus the other. And the goal is to sit in the middle between the two halves of the mind so they can effectively communicate with one another, to be the high priestess, to sit between the pillars of the conscious and subconscious mind, to be the gatekeeper, the mediator of the mind, and get those two halves to work together. Again, talking about restoring that balance of creativity and consumption. Walking the middle path. There's a middle pillar ritual in magic that is practiced for this very purpose, to become balanced and unmovable, because if you are truly depolarized, then you cannot be swayed either way, in either direction, to join somebody else's cause. You really shouldn't be influenceable at all. It plays on our emotions, and where do our emotions come but from the subconscious? So everything does begin in the mind. The conscious mind impresses an idea on the subconscious mind. And if you think about the word impression, making an impression, it to me sounds like the word the empress, the mother, the receptive one, the creative force that gives birth to your manifestations in this reality. And the feminine is sacred because it is her connection to the divine. She has the power to create. So when the masculine impresses his will or external force on her void, that is when you get creation. So you impress her with your conscious mind, the masculine, to gain access to the divine, that connection, and manifest your masculine desire or drive. What motivates you is what you create. Your paradigm, your environment creates your motivation. This is how you create a paradigm shift, by changing your perceptions of your current reality. Like attracts like, repulsivity attracts repulsion. So lack of belief, or belief in lack, yields a repulsion of abundance. Protect the gates of your mind, the strong masculine boundaries of the mind. We need masculine energy. I think too much in this world we are being programmed or brainwashed into believing that the masculine is unnecessary, that it's always toxic, and that's not true. We need both feminine and masculine energy to be a functional society. One is not greater than the other, but they have to be in balance. They complement each other. The yin and yang has been around for millennia, for as long as humans existed. There's a reason that we are here to value both energies equally. They're both are necessary for creation. So we need the masculine to protect the vulnerable, receptive, feminine subconscious, because that's the black, the void, the negative. That's the subconscious feminine mind, and the white is the conscious, projective, protective, masculine energy. And I feel like, again, that is why there is a war on men, or a war on masculinity. It just seems like the agenda is to make us defenseless, to embrace being passive, programmable, defenseless, and having open, unprepared, unguarded subconscious minds. That's how their programming is most easily to get in. And I feel like a true feminist would understand the value of masculine energy in this society. To rely solely on feminine energy is to open the floodgates of the mind to be attacked by deception. So, also from Mind and Magic, he also illustrated this fact of the masculine and feminine and its connection to source. Like, the masculine has no direct connection to divine energy. It has to go through the feminine in order to access the divine. So there is, I believe on his YouTube page, there's a playlist called the Mystery School. If you look at the video about gender, it explains that and even illustrates that in the Lover's card. So another thing to remember is, well, how does their masculine will get into our subconscious mind? It's through our consent. So we choose every day what we allow into our subconscious mind. And if we leave ourselves defenseless or unprotected, then we are consenting to being ruled or governed or impressed upon by external forces that seek to control us. So how do we reclaim or rebalance our masculine energy? How do you strengthen the mind? How do you protect it from false impressions? You reinforce the power of will, of personal power. Take action. Don't be passive. Put beliefs into action. Your feminine energy wants to create, but your masculine is sick, weak, or missing. Until you wake him up and feed him positive energy, that which he is made of, and put him to work. Paradigms won't change without action and effort. Practice in the physical to see physical results. Treat the subconscious like a goddess to make the best impressions to get the best results. This is how you defeat them. Stay in your creative feminine vibration. Stay connected to the divine, the higher self, the creative, limitless void of imagination, because they don't have that link. They rely on feeding off of you, your creative energy, to structure their own reality. They can only manipulate, reflect, rearrange. They cannot create original content. That is your power. Stay original. Be original. This is why we must know ourselves, know who you are, know that within you, you have the divine feminine creative power. Use it to create your life, your vision, your reality, outside of their tangled mesh of illusion, their matrix. This is how you win. You rebel. You hold up a mirror to their false reality. Show them when they lie to you. Show them you know they are being deceptive. Call them out by challenging their blueprint. Show them what is fake. It is a copy of true creation. They took your ideas and perverted them, distorted them, and made you accept it as an absolute truth. Your connection to the divine and divine love, your power to create, is your greatest and only weapon against the shadow world, the shadow puppets. Your light is the divine light of creation. Bring it into the darkest caves or reaches of the mind of those who have lost their way, lost their connection to God's source energy within themselves. So this to me sounds like Virgo, the Hermit card, where he's holding up the lantern. And perhaps some of you have felt that you've been in that energy or called to work with that energy, or maybe speaking of that timeline that we're approaching the season of Virgo. It rules the 6th house of service to others. So Okay, maybe you can use some of this energy to help you tap into your inner divine creative force. We are in the season of Leo, which is the sign of creativity and childlike innocence, and it's very much connected to the sun and the source, which is the source of life. So, okay, I wish you the best. Take care. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.